The air shimmered, thick with an energy that wasn't quite right, not even for a mutant. Remy LeBeau, the smooth-talking Gambit, felt it first as a prickle on his skin, then a chill that went deeper than any sudden drop in temperature. He'd faced a multitude of foes, from shadowy guilds to cosmic entities, but this sensation was uniquely unsettling. It was the echo of himself, but twisted, amplified beyond recognition. Standing before him, emanating a blinding internal supernova, was a figure undeniably Remy. The same build, the familiar trench coat, even the smirk was a dark, distorted mirror. Yet this wasn't Remy. This was the new sun, a name whispered with fear across realities, a name that spoke of ultimate, uncontrolled power. This doppelganger wasn't merely an enemy, he was a living, breathing cautionary tale. The new sun hailed from an alternate Earth, a reality where Remy LeBeau's already formidable kinetic charging abilities had not just grown, but had erupted catastrophically. Imagine, if you will, a power meant to charge objects, to turn them into explosive projectiles, suddenly spiraling outward, consuming everything. His world, his very planet, had been burned to a cinder. Every life he held dear, every person he knew and loved, tragically vaporized in a cataclysm of his own making. The new sun, scarred and utterly alone in the wake of that apocalypse, made a grim vow. Such a tragedy, he swore, would never befall another world. And his chilling solution? To hunt and eliminate every alternate version of Remy LeBeau across the vast, infinite tapestry of the multiverse. Each Gambit he found represented a potential spark, a latent threat that could, given the right circumstances, ignite another cosmic inferno. He was a harbinger of doom, fueled by an agonizing past, driven by a desperate, misguided crusade to prevent history from repeating itself, one multiverse at a time. For our Remy, the realization was a gut punch. This wasn't just a battle for survival, it was a confrontation with his own darkest potential. He looked at the new sun and saw not just an enemy, but a terrifying echo of what he himself could become if his powers, if his very essence were to ever veer off course. The weight of that knowledge, the stark clarity of the danger, settled heavy on his shoulders. He understood, with a chilling certainty, that this fight was inevitable, and it would be unlike any he had ever known. The battle began with a furious intensity. The new sun was everything Gambit was, and more. Faster, stronger, his kinetic energy not merely charging objects, but radiating from his very being, turning the air around him into a weapon. Every punch, every throw, every movement of the new sun felt like a miniature sun flare. Gambit, relying on his agility, his quick wit, and his decades of experience, dodged and weaved, but it was clear that a direct power confrontation was a losing game. The new sun was an unstoppable force, a being who had embraced, however tragically, the full destructive potential of their shared abilities. Gambit hurled charged cards, transformed mundane objects into explosive devices, but they barely registered against the new sun's overwhelming power. Each attack was absorbed or deflected by the radiating energy field that surrounded his doppelganger. It became clear that simply matching force with force, or even trying to outmaneuver this alternate self, was futile. The new sun was a walking, living monument to raw, untamed kinetic energy. As the battle raged and the devastation around them grew, a desperate, radical thought sparked in Gambit's mind. He couldn't defeat the new sun by becoming more like him, by pushing his own powers to their very limit. The new sun was the limit, the ultimate, terrifying culmination of uncontrolled power. The only way to win was to be less like him, to deny the very essence of what made the new sun so dangerous. It was a profound, almost spiritual decision. Remy LeBeau, who had always embraced his abilities, who had defined them by them, made the conscious choice to let them go. he began to draw his immense mutant-enhanced kinetic energy not to amplify it, not to unleash it upon his foe, but to internalize it, to burn it out, to diminish it. It was an excruciating process, a deliberate act of self-stripping, like unwiring a supernova from within his own soul. He focused, concentrating all his will on reversing the flow, on shutting down the cosmic tap that had given him such extraordinary abilities. With a final agonizing surge, Gambit consciously purged the enhanced power that had defined him for so long. He felt it leave him, not with a bang, but with a profound, almost silent internal implosion. The immense, uncontrollable energies that had flowed through him, the very energies that New Sun represented, were extinguished, reduced to their former manageable levels. He was still Gambit, still able to charge a playing card, but the potential for the destructive cosmic flare, the potential for him to become another New Sun, was gone. And with that act, the New Sun faltered. The very source of his power, the concept of uncontrolled kinetic energy, was negated. He wasn't defeated by a stronger opponent, but by the very rejection of his own terrible reality. The fire that consumed him dimmed, and he collapsed, no longer a cosmic threat, but a broken, tragic figure, his purpose unmade by Gambit's profound act of self-limitation. In the aftermath, Remy LeBeau stood, diminished in power, perhaps, but immeasurably stronger in spirit. He had faced his own dark reflection, confronted the terrifying potential of his abilities, and made the ultimate sacrifice, not by giving his life, but by giving up the part of himself that held the greatest danger. It was a victory not of brute force, but of wisdom, control, and self-awareness. He understood that true power doesn't always lie in boundless might, but often in the discipline to control it, or, in extreme cases, the courage to relinquish it. This story of Gambit and his dark reflection, the New Sun, serves as a poignant reminder that our greatest challenges often come from within, or from distorted versions of ourselves. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes the most profound acts of strength are those of restraint, and the deepest lessons are learned when we confront the very limits of our own potential. What are your thoughts on Gambit's sacrifice? Have you ever faced a moment where letting go of something powerful or seemingly advantageous was the only path forward? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the complexities of power and self-discovery, consider following for more stories from the vast tapestry of comic book lore. Until next time, take care.